Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Full-Time Sports Network's Cop Talk. And you know, it's the only place to be each and every Thursday right here at 10 o'clock with my wonderful panel. So we're going to say good evening, Mr. Stoney. How are you doing, sir? And welcome back.
Thank you very much. It just seems so long ago. I know I was unable to jump on and join you guys last week. I did tune in, but it just seems like I haven't been on for about a month. So I'm glad to be back and just looking forward to this week's edition of Cop Talk TV.
Not a problem, my brother. Welcome. It's always good to have you back, man. Dr. Blake, how are we doing, sir?
I'm well, man. It's been a good week. I've been off work. I've been playing FIFA 24. What should I say? EA Sports 24. So yeah, man, it's been good. I'm taking over Brighton. I'm playing that sexy football, and we're gonna start in a bit and see
taking over Brighton, you know. Easy. Okay. See with me, right? I do like FIFA, but I've always been a manager, man. That's me. Football manager, that's me all day, every day.
You know what it is? You see, with FIFA, I can obviously I'll bang it out and I'll play it. But you see, with kind of the football manager games, bruv, it gets so addicted to the point where it's like life stops, bruv. It's like 3 a.m. and I'm trying to sign from America. I'm like, bruv, go to work.
You cut me short, bro. That's just what I was gonna say. These are the things I used to go through. I remember when I first ever started playing it, I was playing it on PlayStation first off and foremost, right? And when I first bought it, I didn't have a memory stick. Yo, that PlayStation was on for about 6 weeks. Nobody in the house could touch that PlayStation, bro, because I built my team and everything. Listen, I ended up putting tape over the plug in the wall so no one would touch that. Because listen, anybody unplugged that and I lost all my...
Bro, I've been there. I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
And you're right. It would be all 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Birds are chirping. I got work to go to. I'm still on it, man. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm up now. It don't make sense going to sleep now. So I might as well just play. Go to work. And when I'm at work, all I'm thinking about is getting back and who am I going to buy? What tactic am I going to play?
It's nuts, isn't it?
Oh, boy. Takes over. Mr. Preds, how we doing, sir?
I was just sitting back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was just sitting back and enjoying listening to you two reminisce, boy. Those were the days. I remember I had my Spectrum 128K and playing Championship Manager.
Spectrum.
Yeah, man. And Pro Evolution Soccer.
Oh yeah.
Pro was a serious thing.
But I'm all good. Thank you very much.
Yes, nice one, man. We are going to say good evening. Goes out to Chris Welsh, joining us nice and early today. Yep, that's right. 4-3 to 3-1 wins in a row. Lovely. Billy Smith, how we doing, sir? How we doing? I see you boys got a win midweek there as well, mate. Jackson got himself a goal. Hey, things looking up at the bridge. Evening, Mr. VW. How we doing, sir? Lovely. What's Chris saying? Only thing difference about FIFA 24 is a new scoreboard, a new name. Same old nonsense as usual. I bet the meeting for the new name lasted long. No.
Do you know what? That's good though. You're mentioning about the new gaming system, and R2 has mentioned about being addicted. They do still have that career mode on this. You can jump on as a manager, you know.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Change your life.
Yeah, for real. Can't believe Ultimate Team is still around. What a scam. Todd Bodie favorite mode. And VW says Amstrad CPC 464 was the one. Commodore 64 was the one, bro. Remember that? Commodore 64.
I know, but
go Google that. Yeah.
I know, but back in the day, mum and dad couldn't afford the Commodore. That was too big, man. So I had to make do with the Spectrum 128K. Daley Thompson Olympic.
I'm sure that it had green buttons on it as well, didn't it? Somewhere.
Well, it had a tape cassette deck.
Yeah. Listen, do you remember at the thing, right? You had to wait for it to load, right?
Yeah.
And then it crashed.
Devastated. Devastated.
You had to rewind and do that all over again. Wait about 20 minutes for this thing to load.
And you know what? These youths don't know that was tape cassette.
I know.
Yeah.
That was a tape cassette. The other day, I went to go and play my boys, whatever it was, Xbox. And I said to him, where's the CD? He said, you don't need CDs no more. I went, what?
No more, mate.
One PlayStation Store,
Yes.
or Xbox Online.
Straight download, bro. That's it. That's
Blew
it.
my mind.
Okay, so Billy says, what's Billy saying? I'm not even smiling until I see consistently with winning, bro. I hear you. But you're at the doghouse for a little while anyway. So we are going to kick off with a little bit of news before we get into our games. First and foremost, so the breaking news is FSG agreed to sell a minority stake in the club for between 82 million and 164 million. FSG are selling to a global sports investment firm called Dynasty Equity. The investment will primarily be used to pay off the club's bank debt. So FSG state the long-term commitment to Liverpool is as strong as ever, and all they were looking for was investors. They don't want to leave, basically. They don't want to sell out. They just want investors. Liverpool lost 100 million during the COVID period. We spent 50 million on a new training ground, as well as 12 million repurchasing Melwood so that the ladies team could use. So what they're basically saying is that this new investment will basically be going to pay off debts. It won't be going towards transfers for now, but it will be a long-term thing. And further down the line, once we've got down our debts a bit more, that's when there'll be more investment into transfers and things like that. How does that sound to you, gents?
Yeah, I think probably similar to what you were saying as well. These investors, I think the main statement was that they're passive investors. So you're right, they've got the money in. As you said, I think it equates up to anything up to 150 mil. It's long term. They're going to be in the background. If it means they can pay off some of our debts, then we'll see. We'll see. Anything's positive. Anything for me is positive. But as he said, we'll see. It's early days.
Doctor?
Mixed views on this. I guess if anyone had a hope that the club, that I guess they were going to sell the club, I think this now indicates that that's not going to happen anytime soon. My biggest gripe, and where I became slightly frustrated with FSG, was the refusal for them to pay for the infrastructure investments. Now, under financial fair play, they could have done that from their own pockets, but instead they made the club pay for the training ground, and then obviously then the new stadium upgrade as well. So what that's meant is money from that would be going for the transfer kitty has been needed to pay for those infrastructure investments. So I guess now they've got this, it does in theory mean that more of the club's revenues can go towards Klopp. So from that perspective, it definitely is a good thing. And I guess, sometimes you have to just hold up your hand and say that these people are good at making money, right? And that's what they are. They've essentially cleared the club's operating debts without having to spend any money and without having to sell a portion of the club that would, I guess, compromise their influence. So it's a win-win for them, really. And I guess, it means that Klopp's got more money in his pocket.
It is, because they definitely said they made sure they say it's a minority stake.
Yeah.
So definitely, you're still in control. Okay. And Prince.
You know what? I haven't got much more to add, because I think, Doc, you just kind of educated me in regards to the business side of things, because I've got to be honest, I'm a football man. And just give me the brown ball and give me the green pitch, and I'm happy as Larry. But when it gets to the business side of things, I don't know too much. I don't advocate to be researching too much, so I listen to my dear Cop Talk colleagues who can then talk and educate me in the business side of things. So look, if everyone's happy, I'm happy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess like the basic rule is, owners can invest any amount they want in anything that is considered infrastructure. So that's training grounds, stadium upgrades, and that doesn't go against financial fair play. So that's why Man City's people revamped that whole area, and they like invested heavily into the community. That didn't go against kind of financial fair play. So in theory, what our owners could have done is covered the bills for that themselves, And then it then means that then the club's profits aren't then needing to then pay for the stadium stuff. So that means that then Klopp would have had more money for wages, transfer fees. Exactly. But they put that onto the club, which then meant that we had less money to actually spend on players. So that was my frustration with them. I just thought, you know what, you could have covered that and then got back your money anytime like you actually wanted. But it literally is that they want the club to be completely
self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And I guess,
Makes sense.
Good evening, Big Teach, man. Big shots, Big Teach. I'm sure
Sheikh
he's joining us from Dubai or something like that, ain't he?
Yeah, boy, Sheikh's out there.
Loving that, man. Yeah. See, KopTalkers International out here. Don't miss about it, man. It's VW saying, yeah, for real. If your computer had a floppy disk, then time you were flossing. Yeah, right. Yeah, you ain't wrong, you know. Listen, them times that's when we was going to shops like it wasn't them shops like Nine. It was Dixon's and Tandy's. Yeah, you remember Tandy?
Yeah.
Those are the shops man was running into them time there. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah. True.
Wait.
I'm not old. I just heard about it. That's what it is. I just heard about
it.
Exactly. My big brother told me. That's all. That's how I know.
Yeah, you had one of them points cards, didn't you?
Listen, bruv, Dixon's was a vibe, yeah. Like,
my
mum used to drag me all over London doing like food shopping, clothes shopping. Well, to be fair, it's mainly clothes shopping. So that little 10 minutes I got in Dixon's to walk around and see things I couldn't afford. So
listen, I made sure I always had a cassette tape in my pocket. Again, I pushed that in and played that and chose some beeline. Don't mess about, you know. Chris Welsh says action speaks louder than words. That's what he's saying. That's all about the investors. Wait to see the action. And Teach says, I'm outside. Okay. Lovely, jubbly. So next bit of breaking news is, tell me how you feel, gentlemen. The Greek Scouser signs a new contract, new long-term deal as well. How are we feeling about that? Oh, don't all celebrate at once.
Well, you know what? In Klopp, I trust, and if Klopp believes that he's worth a new contract and he's going to be, you know, ultimately, how old is he now?
27.
He's good age.
So ultimately, we should be getting him in his prime. And only time will tell. But I mean, look, if there's another left back out there that we can get who we're not going to have to pay through the roof for, then you know, if it's not fixed, don't break it. Really.
Yeah. I think I'm like you, Preds. You got somebody there who understands how we need to play. He's not causing any problems. He understands the deal. I think one thing that we've probably mentioned collectively is having squad players within a certain age range. He's doing that. He's probably on about £2 a week. So we need to be happy. He's not going to be messing up our wage structure. So it is what it is. I'm good with it.
Paper round money.
Yeah, I'm good with it. It is what it is.
Teach ain't good with it. Before we get to Dr. Blake, Teach ain't good with it. He says, what a waste of money. He's the new Mourinho.
You're right. But and even with that, Teach, I agree with you. But we probably have to look at the other side. We probably then have to look about sending out additional scouts out there. We probably have to look about signing on fees, agent fees, XYZ. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we could not have got a more reasonable package. We could probably have dropped the age as well. But do you know what? I don't have an issue with this one bit.
Okay, Doctor, what are you saying about this?
Yeah, I don't have an issue, but I guess I'm probably leaning towards Teach a little in a sense that I probably would have either wanted us to sign a better left back to challenge Robbo for that first choice place, or depending on, I guess, how we're going to move the squad forward to sign somebody who could maybe play left-sided centre-back. Maybe like we do that anyway. So who knows? But I think, you know, like the point's been raised already that actually Kostas is a very good player, like in terms of a backup level, and he's very good for the squad. And I guess Klopp's probably lost more leadership than what he wanted to. Clearly, like he needed to lose it. But So maybe he just wants to keep this group together for as long as possible. And I guess Mo loves Costas, and I guess like he's quite a good person for the dressing room.
Okay, so Billy, he says Rico Henry is only on 35k a week, whereas Tsimikas is on 50k a week. Make it make sense. It's quite simple, Billy. It doesn't take a lot to tell you that Brentford and Liverpool. That's it.
Rico's good though.
It's done. Yeah, I'm not disputing that, but I'm saying there's two different clubs. They have two different wage structures.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Brentford can't be affording to pay everybody them kind of dough. So obviously, it's simple. That's why. You know what I mean? Tsimikas is playing the team that's won Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. Of course, he's going to be on more money. Goes without saying.
And in saying that, I think if Costas was at Brentford, then I think he busted it up. I think he's seen as one of the better left backs in the league.
Of course.
Like he's got a better left boot than Robbo as well, in my opinion. It's just obviously with Robbo, just an all-round more dynamic player than him. But Costas is a good player, in my opinion. You just would have liked someone to challenge Robbo, but yeah.
And as you said, I think the other side of it as well, we probably have to look at it like this, and it's only because you've raised this focus about Tsimikas signing a new deal. It may be somebody that we're looking at, one of our academy players, to come for at some stage. I mean, Luke Chambers was on our bench, wasn't he, recently? We'll mention that because it was something at the end of the show that we're going to speak about as well. But Luke Chambers, he's from our academy. He's left-footed as well. He was on our bench. So it may well be that he has some game time throughout this season. We'll watch this space.
Okay, so Chris Wells said his reaction was that he don't have an issue with it. It is what it is. He says, bro, I'm not an accountant. I don't care about the money, and neither do LFC. Adrian and Tsimikas waste. Robbo needs to be challenged. New Mourinho, absolute nonsense. That man was our worst left back ever. If there was a car crash, he was driving that car. That crash, absolutely terrible. Over the moon, he's not here anymore. I take it you don't really like him then, Chris. No?
I love Chris Welch's anecdotes, mate. They're absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. Keep them coming, mate.
Saying 2.0 means evolution of all aspects. Okay. Big shouts goes out to Mr. R&B. Sorry you can't join us. Don't worry, man. We got you, bro. We know you're here in spirit. You say right now he's out and his internet is crap. Okay, don't worry, man. It's all about dial-up, bro. Don't worry. Mourinho should look for a career that's not football, baby. TikTok model, that TikTok nonsense, he'd be perfect for it. Wow, that's deep. Now, that's deep.
That's deep.
That's real deep.
Funny, but that's deep.
That's deep. Where is he at? Villarreal now?
Did he not win the Europa League?
Europa, did he?
Yeah, that's right. They beat Manu? Yeah,
Manu. Yeah. Mourinho done a video in the changing room, and he he had the medal in his hand, and he's like singing "You Never Walk Alone."
Yes, that's right.
Oh no, yeah, he's great character, great character. But I guess just to clarify, I'm sure he was the backup left back for them as well. So yeah, it's levels. You can't go from being our first choice to then being backup at Villarreal. I guess it kind of shows the levels.
Yeah. No, I think he played though.
Okay, so
anyway,
gentlemen, weekend gone. Liverpool West Pork 3-1. Let's go around, starting with Stoney. Let's go around, just quickly have a team rating. What's your team rating, Stoney, out of 10 for the team?
Oh, listen. A few weeks. I'm giving it an 8.5. A few weeks ago, to Brees on the show, he actually said something. It's directly at me, and Tabriz said, "Stoney, are you ever happy?" And you know what? He actually made me think, because I had to watch back a couple of the shows. You know what? I'm miserable. You know, I have to be careful. Tabriz was so right. I actually love Liverpool, but I always seem so miserable. So you know what? I was happy with the performance. 8.5. I know we're going to go back, and I know we're going to dissect what made me happy from this West Ham game.
Most definitely. Okay, Doctor.
Gonna say a 6.5.
Oh, okay.
6.5
Reds?
Firstly, Stoney, don't listen to what Tabri says, mate. There's nothing wrong with you. All right? Nothing wrong with you. Your entertainment levels were through the roof. Okay? So let's just listen to the viewers. Let's listen to the viewers, Dave. Don't change it. If it's not broken, don't fix it, mate. And second of all, I'll give Liverpool a team rating of 8.
Okay. 8.5, 8, and 6.5. Okay. All right. Now I think it's time we need to do a bit of dissecting now and see what's going on. So, Stoney, why have you given it 8.5?
8.5. I think I was actually happy that one, we managed to retain our home performances at Anfield. So we played against West Ham. We managed to get another win. I think the last time we actually lost at home was against Real Madrid in, I think it was February 21st. Wow, it's on a tube.
Isn't it? Well,
apologies.
I'm bringing all this noise for this ruckus.
Apologies.
He's South
London. All right. Apologies.
Hey, can't you see how far Talk reaches? We're even on the street. We're even on the streets.
No, that's just London people for you, bro. You got a podcast and your man's on road. getting beat by curb crawlers. What kind of thing is that, bro?
Oh, good.
That's brilliant.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, Stoney, as you were saying, you're 8.5.
So my 8.5 was based on we were still able to not lose at Anfield, and that back to February. So I was really happy with that. Klopp managed to play the same midfield that I'm still beginning to like, with McAllister playing the 6. I think Curtis Jones had a good game. Dominic had another good game. Mo had a good game. And you know what? Boy, I might have to be starting to eat a little humble pie here. I'm still going to be, you know what I'm going to say? My humble pie is going to be eaten from the palm of my hands. I have no cutlery. Okay, so I'm just going to say there's a certain Mr. Gomez that had a good game.
I didn't hear that. Say that again, sorry.
I said Gomez had a good game. Here is my humble pie right here. Okay, so yeah.
No, Stoney. Keep running him, bro. Keep running him.
Listen, I will keep running him. He had a good game. He had a good game.
But the more you run him, the better he gets. He must be listening.
It was a good performance from Cody Gakpo. Jota's finish. Oh, goodness. Yeah. All-round performance by everybody. Combinated 8.5 for me.
Okay. So, Doctor.
Yeah.
You say 6.5.
I did say 6.5. And I think I agree with it with all that's been said so far. I think for me, where I'm going a bit lower this week is I didn't like the start. And watching it, I'm trying to work out, is this a technical issue? Is it a tactical thing? Is it a mindset thing? It's probably a combination of all of that. But I'm partially marking it down for the start. Maybe a 7 is probably more appropriate. But what I think we are seeing is during the game, especially against West Ham, it's almost like at times it's like we just looked imperious, like we looked like it was like a 9.5 performance. We looked so dominant, so good on the ball, the way we were moving it, but it's like we're not always sustaining that level, like, and we're dropping at times as well. And there's moments where we're dropping, and then if it's a concentration or like I'm not quite sure what's actually happening, but I guess like we're not sustaining that excellence throughout the 90 minutes. It's almost like we're playing for about 60 minutes or so. And I just felt that we were a little bit lucky in that they should have scored more goals. And I think, don't get me wrong, West Ham do have some very good players. But I just think we just need to be a bit more consistent in our kind of application. And now the individual players are playing so well. I think like we need to kind of take things up to that next level now. So yeah, good performance, but I just need to see that kind of like sustained excellence for like a bit longer.
Okay, Prince.
I agree with what Doc said in regards to our start. We could have been 2-0 down before we even got going. I'll mention the world-class save that Ali made for the first one.
Big save.
Great save, and we're quite lucky that what's his name? McCart, what's his name?
What,
boy,
tight head boy?
Yeah, who?
With the one with the tight braids?
Yeah, the tight braid boy. Yeah, Antonio, tight braid, brother. If he could,
running up his gums.
Yeah, we're lucky that he can't. We're lucky that he can't header. Oh, well, he can header, but we're lucky that he closed his eyes for this one.
And, he didn't do it. He actually closed his eyes. He did the old school.
Yeah,
he closed his eyes, and then you know what? It was a mark of a good team, building on confidence, building on momentum. Where we went up top, and you know it fell nicely for Mo, and then he got the ball, and we knew what was going to happen after that, and he dispatched it well. But it was just the manner and way they scored their equaliser. We've still got deficiencies, but I'm going to say I'm going to be patient because of the way we've started already. Was it 5 wins, 1 draw, and we're a team in transition in regards to introducing new players. You got to think Mac 10. What a great ball, by the way! What a ball! What a ball! And then Nunes is turned on a swivel, and that's hard to turn with the ball coming from behind you over your shoulder, and for you to then actually get contact, and not only contact but directing it as well while the keeper's coming out. What an absolute amazing goal! And I think that kid's going to get better and better. And then we started dominating, and Jota come in, and he's like the fox in the box at the moment, isn't he? Like he's in there in 6-yard box, and he's just there. So individually they're bubbling. Collectively, I think in some parts we're still a bit fragile in regards to confidence, i.e. the start. But once we get into the games, we've shown that we're getting better and better with every game.
Okay, Fabrice, Mr. R&B.
So let me apologize because I'm on public transport, so I don't want to talk too loud. So I literally agree with everything that everyone said. I would probably give Liverpool 7 out of 10. Regarding what Fred said regarding confidence, we are still unbeaten. And again, compared to last season, honestly, I'm so happy. Even though I still have my reservations regarding Darwin's finishing, I think it's really more of I'd say an instinct type of player. I still think he needs to be coached. For me, it's going to be very interesting to see how he progresses this season. I think Mac 10 is still being played out of position. Yes, it was a great ball, but let's be honest, it's Leicester City. I think, of course, like the Leicester test isn't going to be.
No, we're talking about West Ham, mate.
Oh, sorry, West Ham.
Are you on the bus to West Ham at the moment?
Hold on. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
No, you was doing all right until you said Leicester City. You was doing fine.
What you're saying makes sense for West Ham.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Ali could have made a save against Suchek. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I think that the biggest test is definitely going to come against Spurs. But hey, you know what? We are unbeaten, and long may the good times roll.
Okay,
definitely. Right. Do you know something that Fabrice mentioned just about Darwin's performances as well? That volley, even though I know it was completely different. Do you remember when Mahrez was still playing at Leicester, and he pinged that beautiful ball over to Vardy? Vardy hit it with the volley. Remember that first time, how crisp that was. So even though I know both goals were completely different, the technical ability for Darwin Núñez to actually bring that over when it's over his head and finish was still nice. I know 2 completely different. I do understand that he still needs to be coached, but sometimes you purchase a player that is not the finished article, which is Darwin Núñez, And I think what I'm excited about is to see how he's going to be coached at Liverpool, and then we see how he progresses. So he is raw.
But don't you guys see, like, you're absolutely right in regards to the coaching element, but don't you see that there are some bits that he's transferring from the training pitch onto the pitch? His movement now is not so erratic. His closing down, he now understands. His hold-up play is getting better. Did you see the one where he held up the ball and he was like, "Get off me!" Like,
yeah, of course.
So he's still raw, but I can see the elements of him being coached already starting to come to fruition.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy by that. And you said he's he's still 24, so I'm happy with the pro. And you know what I think is, we have so many offensive options. There's no pressure on the young man, so I think it's good.
Chris says 7 out of 10.
You know what?
Winning, but vulnerability is still there. I don't think we can keep this up against better opposition. Defense is still rabbit in headlights at times. Worry that if we go behind against better opposition, which we have mentioned, that's when we could find ourselves in trouble, because it'll be a lot harder to break down.
But you know, in saying it as well, though, you know, RT, I think we've played games where we have conceded first and we've come back. I think this was a game, obviously, and we're speaking about the West Ham game. Mo scored a penalty on 16 minutes. Bowen's header, in fairness, was a throwback. And I think the way in which he was able to actually get in front of Virgil van Dijk, the way he actually dipped down, I just think it was a very, very, very good goal by Bowen. I really do. He got in front of him, got to in front of Van Dijk's feet, directed the goal past Ali as well. I just think it was a very, very, very good goal by Bowen. So I think we've shown that
Van Dijk was ball watching too much and not watching the player.
Okay.
He was actually standing facing that side of the pitch when he should be sideways on, so he can see both player and ball. And that's what he was doing. So man was able to make that run from behind him. Whereas if he was facing him, he might have been able to just walk and nudge him over. Just put him out of his stride.
Yeah, but I think what Tony says was right in regards to being a good guy. I think he's just got to give plaudits to Bowen. I mean, there's not many players who'll get that low, knowing that because I know what you're saying, but that height there as a defender, you're kind of, you open up the side of your foot and you're making contact with it. You're not stooping down that low. And for Bowen to actually have the ingenuity to then, and the ability to crouch down, get down low, and direct that football. I mean,
beat Ali.
And beat Ali. It's
Well,
it's bad details.
Because I still feel it's bad defending.
Okay.
Bad defending.
I would actually love to get you guys' opinion regarding Darwin Núñez, and this is kind of what concerns me. Yes, we have kind of literally talked about his movement and literally what is transferred from a training ground onto a pitch. But can you guys name me a player, Liverpool or no matter what club that they've played who's been erratic in front of goal and has actually improved their goal finishing? Because you've either got it or you don't. When we kind of literally looking at the kind of top tier strikers, that's what comes naturally to them. I don't know of a player that's come to any club with erratic finishing and has improved and literally has actually become legends at that particular club.
Can I say somebody, if it's okay with you?
Of course.
All right, brilliant. So I think at the moment, in terms of Darwin Núñez, he's probably he probably played for us probably 50 games, and I think he's on 19 goals for us at the moment, right? Stats are probably similar when he was at Benfica. So we're probably seeing, a mirror image of how he does progress. The player that I'm just thinking of is Drogba. Drogba was quite erratic. He was not the finished article. I mean, he was not the finished player when he was purchased at Chelsea. He was quite erratic. If I am just thinking about myself, I recall him probably doing a lot of feints, probably falling, light nudges, always falling down. Look at how he was when he was purchased at Chelsea to how he was when he left. For me, two completely different players. So the only person that comes to mind for me is Didier Drogba.
It's a good shout.
I think also Suarez as well. Obviously, different level of footballing ability, but I guess his finishing was quite erratic. But I guess to speak to the point, because it is a good point, I think it probably comes down to why the person is being inconsistent. So I think Darwin in his second season at Benfica, or especially in the games that we played against them, his finishing looked very good. And as we discussed last week, he actually strikes the ball very well. And as I said, I think he could probably take free kicks as well. Like he gets a good shape on the ball. So I guess they're probably working on his finishing from a technical perspective. I did read something about them working on maybe his head position, him being a bit calmer. There's probably certain things like that they're trying to do to ensure that he connects with the ball as he does. Just to give a quick story, obviously I've been quite critical of Darwin, but I have changed my tune because I have seen some of the positivity. But last week, I guess I was in a group and I was just saying, look, I'm seeing progress, but we can't forget we have committed in theory £85 million for him. So like he still has to prove that he is of that standard. And when he missed that chance, I was going to message into the WhatsApp group and saying, I told you, Brad, this Brad's whack. I told you. Look, I thought, you know what? Positive vibes, bruv. He's playing well, positive vibes. And then about 2 minutes later, he scores that screamer. So yeah, I do think it will come, but at the same time, he does need to score the chances that, like, just like the bread and butter chances that the team are creating for him. Mac 10's ball and his ability to run in behind, that's like a piece of genius or a piece of class. I guess it's the basic chances that he needs to score, like, with a bit more consistency. But no, listen, I think he's going to do very well and have a very good season. And I think he's good enough to be our main number 9 for us to win major trophies, personally.
Okay. And you know, just to extend on that, I'm just going to throw something in before everybody else's comments. Remember, he's making the transition from playing the left forward to a striker. At Benfica, he was playing left forward. He wasn't playing a striker, you know. So not only is he making that transition from a new position, us wanting him to play more centrally, completely different country, different style of play, understanding language, you know, you're right, as you were saying about the technical side, but completely different position. So I do believe he's going to come good.
Okay, so Chris is saying better this time around than last season, was a shambles. Big shouts goes out to Van Man Rolling. He says, big up the man them. He says, Nunes closing down and hold up has improved.
100.
VW says, agree with what's being said. My concern is we are constantly conceding the first goal. Nunes has an X factor about him. Nunes scores the hard chances, but 100% faith in him. My guy. On fire. Okay, so Nunes is constantly improving. Drogba first 2 seasons at Chelsea weren't the best, but he became unplayable. Okay, Snatch though, he just said that. Very true. Andy Cole,
you know what, Vinny, I was gonna say him, Andy Cole. I was gonna say Andy Cole and even Bobby Firmino at times as well when he first came to the club. He should have scored a lot more bread and butter goals, but
Bergkamp when he first went to Arsenal.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good
one, and that's to name a few.
That's a good one. That's a good.
Chris, he's at it again. At least it was Nunes we signed, not Voronin.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Not with Voronин's dodgy clubber. Oh mate, well, that was dodgy.
Appreciate they'd already built reps, but the initial starts and their most iconic clubs were inconsistent. Okay. Yeah. Voronin. Bloody hell, man. That's a. Whew.
But you know who's got a Voronin? A modern day Voronin? Chelsea. In Modric.
Yeah.
That is a modern day Voronin all over. I am telling you.
He looks terrible, isn't it?
Is his brother reincarnated?
2.0, bruv.
Yeah. So one thing I will say, gentlemen, before we move on to a few more bits about the game is about Nunes, if we purchased him for like 30 million, no one would really be saying nothing.
Agreed.
It's the price tag. That's why so much is expected of him.
Yeah.
That's what's putting all the pressure on him. It's the price tag.
It's the price
And
tag,
remember,
the timing.
It's 65. It could rise to 84 depending on achievements. Basically.
Well, you know, okay, so like price tag is one thing, but don't forget he's playing for Liverpool as well. Like anyone that Liverpool sign, you know, that is pressure full stop. You know,
but
we like could have bought him for
if you bought him for 30 million.
For me personally, I think the reason, you know, all of this kind of debate regarding Darwin and literally is he Liverpool's number 9, is because he was signed when Man City got Haaland. So literally that was that kind of, you know, instant kind of comparison. Instant. So I think it kind of comes down to that. Yes, the money like a little bit, but I think anyone that Liverpool sign, I mean, again, like we've all spoken about Mac 10 and his like, you know, position, you know, X, Y, and Z, but he's a World Cup winner for Argentina. Like, but you know, we are still questioning him and like his ability in a kind of position. Why should we be doing that? Because he's a Liverpool player. We're not
questioning. No, we're saying what we're saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, is we want to see him play further forward. Because that's not where we really see him. Even I was going to say that Stoney said something earlier about and he picked the same midfield. I'm kind of getting happy with Matt 10 in the 6 and whatever. I would prefer, to be honest, that Endo was up to speed and Endo was the holding player, and so Boslight and Matt 10 could go forward and do what they need to do, cause havoc.
I think that's coming. I think it's coming. It's just
that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. That's what I would prefer. No one's questioning Matt 10, you know, because we already know. But he's just being played out of position.
You say that out of position, but he's played in that position for Brighton, and he also plays in that position for Argentina.
Yeah, exactly.
What is his better position?
I'm not sure. I think he can play in such a series of positions effectively that I still think he can play
his better position, man. Come on. You can't.
I think he can play in any position. He played in any position for Brighton, and the same thing for Argentina. And he was still effective.
When he plays as a 6, right, he reminds me a little bit of Alonso in regards to he reads the games and he intercepts and he screens quite well as a 6. I agree. I rather him a little bit further on, but he ain't doing a bad job as a 6 at the moment. Long term, you want Endo getting up to speed and you want a collective 3. But then again, you've got Gravenberch to come in, chuck in there as well, who can also play as a holding and can play as an 8. We are actually quite blessed in the fact that we have got players who are actually very adaptable in any midfield position you put them in. You know, you got to remember back when we had the Fab 3 in the midfield. You know, Fabinho sometimes went forward, and then when Fabinho weren't playing, Wijnaldum would sit and be the 6, and then Henderson will do it. So I think it's a case of like we're blessed with players who are very adaptable within our system.
And you know,
go on.
No, I apologize. I'm going to wait. You go ahead, sir.
No. I was just going to say, I think I'm a bit with Artie on the Mac 10 one in that I do seriously rate him, and I can see that the coaching staff probably think that his ability with the ball is probably a net gain or a net positive in comparison to what maybe Endo can do defensively right now. So they're going to go with Mac 10 until Endo shows a certain level. And obviously, the goal for Darwin kind of proves what you get when you play someone like him 6. And I think although he can play 6, I feel even with Brighton, he was playing 6 next to Caicedo. Like there was a ball winner in the team doing that.
Right.
And I think we saw against West Ham, especially with the save that Alisson made. I can't remember the guy who took the header. I can't remember what his name was. Suchet, that's the one.
Yeah.
That Antonio was bullying that right-hand side, and that's what kind of led to the chance. We couldn't get him off, and I just felt there was moments against West Ham where we needed someone with a bit more physicality in that area, personally doing that. And I think Matt 10's great. I think he's a very good player. But for me, I think Curtis Jones has to start right now. And I think until I see Matt
100%.
Until I see Matt 10 show some different kind of levels, if Endo starts to 6, I put Matt 10 on the bench right now, personally. For me, Curtis Jones has to start.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I think, and remember, this is just only my opinion, all right? I think Artie originally asked for our ratings for the game against West Ham, and I gave an 8.5. One of the things I was happy about was that same midfield, and it just goes back to, I think we've mentioned on previous shows, and I know we mentioned it last season, about it will be interesting to see if Curtis Jones was able to have a run of games and show a level of consistency. I wonder what his profile would look like. I wonder how then he fits into the Liverpool midfield, whatever it would be. And I think with him having a run of games, I think he's just showing, you know what? Okay, I understand now what the coaching staff and everybody was speaking about. I'm just happy with him. Those current midfield.
Listen, I agree with you. I think that's our best midfield. But then I think that probably speaks to a hole in our recruitment, in that we don't have a stronger option for the 6. Endo looks solid, but we don't have what we might consider to be a top draw person in that role. Because I guess I see Matt 10 a bit similar to, say, like a Gundogan, who can play 6, but he's not Rodri levels. So yes, you can play him in that role, but there's a better player for that position. Yeah. But I think that probably might be our best midfield, unless Klopp decides to put Jones at 6, because obviously he's got that physicality and power. But yeah, it might just be that Klopp just reckons that because Szoboszlai and Jones are so physically dominant and powerful, that having somebody slightly smaller in the 6 can still work. But we'll see. But I do think it's our best midfield, though. I agree.
And
I don't. Sorry, go on, mate. Go on.
I know. I mean, again, I'm actually taking some of Stoney's juice, and literally I have to apologize because I was one of Curtis Jones's biggest critics, and he has proved me wrong. Honestly, like I can exactly what Doctor's saying. I mean, he deserves starting. Honestly, like you know, like you know what, I have to. Personally, I have to keep the same energy. And he, for me, has to start. Honestly, like he has to start.
There's no reason why he shouldn't start. I know some people were still saying in certain groups, they were still talking about him. You know what I mean? He's nothing special. Is this, that, and the other? But what they don't realize and what they don't look at, what plays a massive part in the game, is that when he gets the ball, he doesn't give it away. That is massive in games. What people don't realize, retaining possession of the football is massive, and that's what he's going about his business doing, keeping the ball.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
A bit more actually. Just shortly when we move on to our next one, we will talk about Jones a bit more. Quickly before we move on, was it a penalty, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Later.
All day.
Okay. Because you know, I'm still hearing that talk about it's only because it was at Anfield and all that kind of nonsense.
Do you know what? I felt sorry for the defender because he takes that touch. You know that we like when the ball breaks and you shouldn't make the tackle, but it's just happened reactively, so you just go for it, and then it was a pen. Clear pen.
How I kind of knew it was a pen. Just by looking at the reaction from the West Ham defender.
Yeah.
Just look at his
reaction.
He didn't even query it. He just looked at the ground, and for me, he couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't get away. And Salah's being very clever, very cute, knew exactly. So
of course,
brilliant.
So that's 3-1. We had 22 shots, 7 on target, 64% possession.
Dominant.
And we had nearly double the amount of passes than what they had as well in that game.
Yeah, because you got Szoboszlai like bop. You got Mac 10 was doing it. Curtis Jones was doing it. Like the ball just keeps moving. It's all it is. It's just that we're still in some areas we're still quite young and still quite naive, and those balls will start to come. Like Curtis Jones was picking up some wonderful thingy, but on Curtis Jones quickly, he lost the ball a couple of times. He did lose a few times. I'm not going to be critical because everyone's going to lose footballs, lose a pass. What I was impressed with was when Jones lost the ball and he just went hunting for the ball
to get it back.
To go and get it back. He just went, and then you can see him when the ball got transferred over to the other side. You can see him blowing. You know what I mean? But that's what we want to see. We want to see, look, you've misplaced the pass. You go and get it. If you can go and affect it to go and get it back, brilliant. And I just love that attitude.
Yeah,
he's happy because they beat Newcastle and Man City yesterday. Well done.
Listen, do you know what I'm really happy with? And it's, as you said, even with that, welcome to the show, Geordie. I think the brilliant thing as well, like what Artie was going to mention as well. This is Kop Talk, but it's amazing that we have supporters and fans and people that appreciate their other clubs are tuning in. So, Geordie, welcome to the show. Spread the word about Kop Talk to your fellow Geordies. Remind them to like, share, and subscribe. I know you're coming onto the show happy. Brilliant results against Milan, brilliant result against Sheffield United, and brilliant result against Man City.
But we're not going to apologise for Nunez's late strike.
Big shouts goes out to Anfield Dad as well.
The thing about Curtis Jones that people
first time on the show. Nice to have you listening ears. Chris says, I've been proven wrong on some of our players too. I was almost proven wrong, believe it or not, when the NHS hospital bed model and biggest waste of time, Navigator was playing a few games in a row. Chris is
can I say something about Curtis Jones as well that people kind of sleep on? Is that he's our longest serving player right now.
Yeah,
like he has survived like the Klopp clear out and he's still here. He is our longest serving player. So literally we have to put respect on his name. Like
especially when we called him a stripper.
Yeah, very true. That very
you have to remember.
That was KV.
But you know what? KV could be right. He could still be earning his night money. You know,
with a bottle of baby oil.
That's
okay. So that's another one out of the way. 3-1 mentality monsters. We're on this team. We move on to midweek Carabao Cup, and I must say, I was very, very happy that the players got a rest, and that Klopp decided to say, "Yeah, you know what? You lot go out there, and you lot have a game, and then me give these boys a rest." But once again, gentlemen, before you blink, freaking hell, we're 1-0 down again. But I was never worried.
Yeah.
I was calm. I cussed, of course, because the goal went out. It's that standing there. But it's like, child, don't worry, man. Don't worry. Listen, even my daughter said, I said, listen, don't worry. She listen. She got a microphone and came to me and said, "So, Dad, what's really going to happen for Liverpool then?" With this I said, listen, don't worry. We got this. You know what I mean? It's just time. It's a little error. And we'll be back. We're going to come back and we're going to win this game. She came back later on after she'd been playing upstairs. Came back later with her dad. And so my dad said, and look, he was right. Look at the score. It was too funny, man. It was too funny. So, gentlemen, your ratings, please, for Liverpool versus Leicester. Stoney.
This is another 8.5 for me. The last time, listen, you see this energy that Liverpool played with, and as you said, McAteer got the early goal. But if we're talking about energy, we are talking about prime. We are talking about energy like prime Coxon at Notting Hill Carnival. Remember when Coxon used to run the float at Notting Hill Carnival? This is the energy levels that I'm talking about. So I'm just saying.
I am a Saxon man, though, but yeah, still.
Well, listen, Saxon used to have it as well, but when Coxon used to hold it and then the float used to go back down to like Paddington Rick afterwards, then it's Coxon. So 8.5, and I'll elaborate on afterwards.
Okay. Doctor.
Yeah. Agreed. Like we've just got energy is the word. Energy. I'd say 8. Yeah, it's just a wicked vibe about the place right now.
Okay, Preds.
Personally, your daughter's going to be absolutely horrified of your impression of her. She's going to be absolutely horrified. You know what? Because it was a Carling Cup and his EFL Cup, whatever it was. All right, I'm going to give them a 9.
Oh, flipping out.
Wow.
Big scores.
Wow.
All right. Mr. R&B.
7.5. And again, I might be a little bit controversial here, Artie, but I will probably talk about it later.
Okay. Chris is saying 8 out of 10. Chris says he was at the game last night as well. His first game at Anfield for 2 years. Felt good being back and actually getting tickets. All 3 of our goals were fire.
Yeah.
Says lovely. It must have been nice, mate. Must have been nice down there, I tell you. Okay, so what I do want to start with, gentlemen, is talk about no, actually, sorry, before I get into that. No, talk about Kwanzaa.
Oof. My guy, man. I'm telling you, my guy. Now, the reason why I'm going to say my guy, as I said, I've come on the show. I've come on eating my humble pie because, as I said, I have questioned Gomez. Today, I'm with him. I'm riding shotgun. By next week, I'm probably going to change my mind. But I know on a few shows we've I think one thing that we've always mentioned in the show is the importance of our academy. So I think it's really good that we've got Kwanzaa coming up from our academy, playing at centre back. What I did like about this performance with Kwanzaa playing in this game, as I said, his new position here and actually understanding this transition where he's playing. This side, I think is he right? I think he's right-footed. So he's actually playing, when he plays, he actually plays over where Van Dijk would play then on the left-hand side then, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought, yeah, look, really good performance. We've got an academy player here who's going to be given time to actually play. So yeah, I'm happy. Good performance.
Okay. Doctor, Kwanzaa.
Yeah, mate, do you know what? So when young players come through, I always try just to kind of keep my excitement balanced. You don't want to get too carried away. You don't want to big people up like too much. I remember when Stoney was saying about starting Kwanzaa. I think it might be in our second game of the season. I was just like, whoa, this let's just pump the brakes. Let's just give the youth a chance. But I mean, the only question that I had after seeing him play was, what's his recovery pace like? Because if he can recover and he's got pace, then this kid looks like the complete package. Crazy composure, uses the ball really well, good in the air, good physically, good turn of pace. So comfortable with the ball. And speaking to the point about what side of the pitch he plays on, I was watching the assist that he got, and I'm thinking to myself, what foot is this, Brett? Because yes, he's right-footed, but he drives into the box on his left foot, like he's just controlling the ball on the outside of his left boot, like he's driving the ball like a left-footed man. Because that really and truly, that's what left-footed players do. Like a right-footed player brings it on their right side, drives in. He's taking outside of the boot left foot. I'm thinking to myself, let me not get too carried away here, but this shoot looks a bit mad. I can't even lie.
And you're right about the pace, because did you see the way that he kept up with McAllister, with McAteer? That's what I'm saying. McAteer, the forward, was rapid. And if you're thinking about fast centre backs, him and Konate there, that's speed there, you know.
Listen, I think we've got to get carried away, man. I know I saw a tweet from Jamie Carragher who basically said that I think Kwanzaa was in the same age bracket as Carragher's son. I think, and obviously I think he's been at the club since he was like 8, right? So, boy, maybe this is why we didn't go too hard on the centre back, because the youth's looking dope. The youth is looking dope.
Most definitely. Preds.
If you listen, regardless of age, if he's good enough to play the boy, and he's come in a situation where we're actually in a good place as a collective team, we're in a good place.
Good time to come in.
Yeah, it's a very good time to come in. And the game he played against, he's come in but he started on against Leicester. And in answer to your question regarding that pace, he definitely has that pace because he's got those long legs, but the strides in 2 or 3 strides, he's on that person. If you see who played up front for Leicester, what's his name?
Iheanacho.
When there was a ball got played through, Iheanacho should by rights be getting that ball first, right? Konze, he's come across with pace, and then he's actually ahead of him, and he's slid and took the ball away from him. And the way he makes up ground is very impressive for a young lad. And like you said, he's got the composure, and look on his face. He looks serious. Like look on his face. That's full of concentration. But then to be a young lad with that concentration, but then still have the ability and the belief and the composure to play amongst his peers, very impressive stuff.
And just to jump on the bandwagon even more, sorry about this, but yeah, I got carried away. It happens. The games he's come, so I agree in that he's come into the team at a very good place because the team's got this fighting spirit, like the harmonies there. You can see like it's a happy dressing room. But in terms of game states, he's coming in difficult moments. Newcastle away was a difficult game. Like the reality is we've had to change 2 centre-backs in that game because obviously then Matt, I think obviously Van Dijk gets sent off and then Matt then comes off with fatigue, I think. Yeah. So 10 men changing 2 centre-backs, and it's like he's playing with his younger brother, just crazy composure. And going back to his speed, what he does have is that speed control in that he can accelerate and decelerate very easily because you know when some man sprint too much and they can't slow down a striker, then faint and they run past and they lose their foot in a bit. He just seems to always be in control of his body and the way he positions himself to kind of take the ball. Listen, I'm fully carried away. I'd like, sign him up. Like, didn't Rio Ferdinand, like sign him up.
I actually echo what like everyone said, and again, not sometimes, we have to remember that the players that he's learning from, Van Dijk, Trent, you know what I'm saying? Like these are elite players that have literally won everything at club football. So imagine that education right there. That is gold. And I was kind of thinking, should we load him out? But nah, like Van Dijk, Trent, that is like the best education that you will ever have as a defender. And regarding my kind of controversial statement, and again, RE, please correct me if I'm wrong. And also panel, when we kind of conceded that the first goal against Leicester, and you kind of said that you wasn't really worried about it. Subconsciously, does anyone actually care about the League Cup? I mean, personally, again, like, no. do we kind of want to go deep into this competition because we've actually been in this situation before where we've like gone for everything and look what's happened. And again, for me personally, and again, I don't want to be disrespectful to the competition, but I think we have to. Well, no. We have to be playing youngsters. I don't want none of our first team or even fringe players remotely close to that playing because, again, we have bigger fish to fry.
But I think you're going to find that it's going to be. I think the squad is very nicely balanced in regards to age, experience, and ability. And I think, like how many youngsters did we start yesterday? But then you got to remember what team is actually the same from the start of the game. Teams are always changed. Teams are always different at the end of the game. So to have the ability to have young potential players using the EFL Cup games to obviously as experience, but then we've also got a trickle of experienced players like we saw last night where we say, right, you know what, you youngsters, you've done well, you've got to a point, right, let's carry you over the line. Let's get some experienced players. And the experienced players, if you know it, if you effectively, they're only playing, what, 20 minutes? Szoboszlai played 20 minutes.
Yeah, about 20 minutes, yeah.
You know, like, so I get what you're saying, Therese, and I honestly do, but I think if you're in a competition, you've got to go and aim to win it.
Yeah, and I think just to extend on that as well, I'm probably similar to Preds. I think that I want Liverpool to use the EFL Cup similar to how we're playing our fixture in the European fixture as well. So I think for us, this is giving us an opportunity to see what's the young guy that played for us up front? Ben Doak. Ben Doak, yeah. So it's a good opportunity for us to see how Ben Doak's going to play for us. It's a good opportunity for us to see Stefan coming back from injury. It's a good opportunity for us to see Luke Chambers play this game. So at the beginning of the game, RT mentioned about Tsimikas signing a new contract for us, left back. It's a good opportunity for us to look Chambers play, who's come up from our academy, play at left back for us. It's a good opportunity for us to see Curtis Jones now captaining the team. It's a good opportunity for us to see Harvey Elliott playing good in midfield. It's a good opportunity for us to see I do apologize, the midfielder now that we bought from Bayern Munich. Gravenberch, who's young as well. He's 21. It's a good opportunity for us to actually see him actually play as well. So for us, for me, let's use this EFL Cup to be as important for us playing in the Europa League as well. We know what we want. We want the league and we're going for it anyway.
Chris Welsh says, Konza's been great so far, in my opinion. He was on loan at League One Bristol Rovers last season. Massive step up for him this season.
Thank you. And if you think of it, look when Reece James was out on loan down at Wigan. Look how good that actually was good for Reece James when he was in midfield there at Wigan. He got player of the season there, came back for Chelsea, hit the floor running. So
he got sent out to Bristol. He got sent out for the Bristol Rovers for one reason only: the physicality. If you can handle League One football, the physicality, the talent and ability always rises to the top. But if you can't match it with that ability to handle yourself physically in those kind of situations, and you can see that he's using that and transferring his experience from Bristol Rovers onto the pitch, because you can see he didn't get roughed up against Leicester, and he was playing against an inexperienced Premiership player who's played for Man City, won trophies, scored goals. So, it's refreshing to see.
Chris is a killer, I'll tell you. Chris, he kills me. Luckily, Conte was not playing alongside the disaster brothers at the back, Lovren and Sacco. Huge sigh of relief for the young man. You see?
Do you know what?
I didn't mind Sacco,
Man said he's learning from Van Dijk and whatever, and Trent. Man said Lovren and Sacco. Could you imagine?
Well, listen, Sacco as a teenager was a captain of Paris Saint-Germain, and he used to have some nice lines in his hair as well, man. So let's give him a little props.
His best work in the barbershop.
You know what? Sacco was all right. He just played himself. You know what? He talked himself.
Like the ball was hot, bro. Don't try it.
No, listen, he wasn't great on the pitch, but the boy was he wasn't great on the ball on his feet, but the man was a mountain, bro. He didn't lose no headers. He was just like a brick wall. Bro, and at that time, we needed.
You could come with me on a Friday and Saturday night and work on the door. That's what you could do. Yeah, I'll bring him along with me. I'm sure you'll do a good job, mate.
It's all right. He done a good job. He done a good job for himself, getting himself out of Liverpool by the way he conducted himself. So hey.
And Chris said regarding what we said, I think it was Mr. R&B about do we really want to focus on the Carabao Cup? I want to win every competition.
Yeah, I'm greedy.
Right.
I'm greedy. I do as well.
But it's like you know what? Like we said, it's good to give the youngsters some game time as well, and even like there's the fringe players like Tsimikas and that. Kelleher, they need game time, man.
Yeah,
you got to keep.
It's another thing as well. Even like say like if Trent was ready for this game, basically like to give him a 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Get him back in the thick of things, and that's a game to ease him back in, rather than now he's back. Do you frame him against Tottenham, which is going to be a big game? Nah, man. Be nice to ease him in. These games are handy, man. These games are very, very handy, I must say.
Yeah, and I think also as well, this is probably the deepest squad that we've had. So,
Thank you.
although I guess our starting 11 isn't as good as Klopp's best lineup, but our squad's definitely deeper. So, yeah, guys like who aren't playing regularly, like Jota and Cody and that, like they're going to want minutes. So, yeah, I just think these guys are too good to just not be starting games. So, yeah,
but you got to
I
remember,
like our team yesterday.
but you got to remember that the players themselves have to understand that the demands of playing for a team like Liverpool. We don't play 2 games a week. We play 3 games a week. There are there's going to be plenty of opportunities. It's just down to them when they put the shirt on and they get the opportunity to then put a seed in Klopp's head to say, yeah, you know what, consider me when you're starting the Premiership games or the European games. And this is a great platform for the youngsters to do that.
And you're right. You're right about that as well. And that's why I think when I was asked about what I thought about this game, and the first thing I mentioned about energy, these players on it. I mean, like Cody Gakpo was on fire this game. Absolute fire playing in that central position. But the energy, it seemed like every single player, they came on and they wanted to have an impact. They wanted to be in that conversation. All of them wanted to score. They all knew what their roles were as well. He said whether it was defensively, offensively. But yeah, I just thought it was a really good performance. Very good performance by everybody.
Good all-round performance, most definitely. So, talk to me, lads, about once again, Mr. Szoboszlai, man. We can't stop talking about this guy. His goal.
That was like a Tony Yeboah thunderbuster. Why? Do you know what as well? He doesn't really have much of a backlift, but he has so much power in his shot.
He just hits it so quick. He's going to score a few of them this season,
Of course, yeah, you can see that. But yeah, you're right, because his technique is on point.
It's on point, bro.
And he nearly got a second one in the game as well, though, innit? Yeah. He nearly got a second one.
You know what? I didn't realize how close the second one was until I see the replay, and it literally is again top bins again. It's just about a foot over. Well, so less than a foot.
Was it Artie who put the picture in this group earlier on, the comparison between the celebration, Gerrard and Szoboszlai? That the comparison didn't stop at just that picture of him celebrating. Yeah, the conversation is serious now. I think we touched upon this a couple of weeks ago in regards to comparisons between Szoboszlai and Gerrard. Yeah, and I'm one of them. I'm again humble pie. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. Listen, that talk's got to be on the table now. Like this guy.
Nah, it's still too early, man. Come on.
No. It's too early.
It's too early.
It's too
early.
All right. Hold on a minute. The guy's playing 6 games.
I know.
You're making comparisons to Stevie.
I know, but the guy's got sugar in that. He's got sugar in them boots, man. He's got sugar. He walks. He listen. The guy is a package. Total.
He is a package.
Total package.
It's too early. This is what I'm going to say.
All right.
This is what I'm going to say. Blakey, you came onto the show with us. You've joined us. You opened up my eyes, and I'm going to be honest. I knew very, very, very little about Dominic. You came on. You schooled me. You made me go back. You made me do research. You made me open up my eyes and have an appreciation for a young player of 22 that is not only the captain of the national team, but I appreciate that, what you've done for us here. And he's going to be the real deal, but it's early. Let's make the brother breathe.
I understand 6 games.
Let him breathe. Let him breathe, man.
No, it is,
he's an amazing player.
You know, it's obviously Gerrard's on that Mount Rushmore, isn't it? Like, yeah, like obviously, like he made our team with like our all-time greatest NFC team. But with Szoboszlai, I think what it is which makes you kind of start getting a bit carried away is his all-round game is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
like it's mad. Like it's everything. It's his off the ball work rate, his anticipation, his cleverness, like off the ball, he would be good enough to get into. So basically, if he wasn't good, let's just say he wasn't as good as he is technically. Defensively, in his off the ball work, he's a match for Henderson. He's just faster than Henderson because he's already clocked the second fastest Premier League speed.
Yeah, I was shocked at that.
This is what I'm saying. It's nuts. Like, so off the ball, he is elite, crazy engine. Just come plays every day.
Did you see what he done? Yes, was it? Oh, was it Tuesday night or was it last night? Last night. Did you see what he done? They had a free kick, and he was almost in the centre circle. And the lads put the ball down. He's put his hand on the ball. He's gone to go and play the ball. Szoboszlai's clocked it, read it. He's played it, intercepted. We're back on again. That's like the speed of thought and he's off the ball. And you know what? Yeah, you know, back in the day, like when Sky TV done the player watch.
Yeah, it'd be great thing, isn't it?
I found myself doing that.
Yeah,
I found myself just watching Szoboszlai.
I think what it is because he can play such a series of positions as well. Because as you said, he can play left forward, right forward. He can play in the cam. He can play central midfield. He can play on the right midfield as well. So you're right, because he's got such an in-depth awareness of all of these other positions, and he can play in all of those other positions at such a high level, and his IQ is so high as well. You're right. It's just and he's 22. It's making this guy being, and you know what? I know, football's amazing, because look at the conversation we're having about Szoboszlai at the moment. But look at the conversation we're having last year about not getting Jude Bellingham.
It's funny you say that.
Isn't football crazy?
Jude Bellingham tweeted about Szoboszlai's goal.
It's just nuts. It's just absolutely crazy. It's mad.
That's why we love this mad, wonderful, crazy thing called football.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah, well, that's why I said
from the Man United agenda. Big shouts goes out to you, brother. I hope all is well with you, mate.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
You say top two finish for Liverpool this season. Yeah, it definitely in the top two finish for you lot. I know that much. That much I do know. Yeah, it's fun. It's funny, I didn't hear from Solo for a few weeks, but because obviously they beat Burnley now and that, all of a sudden he's come out the woodwork. Yeah,
they parked the bus as well. I
see you, Solo. I see you, bro. I see you. Don't worry.
Don't muck about with Artie. Artie's like, yeah, how you doing, Solo? You're all right, but then switch it straight. Love it.
I'm not having that. Scott says that Gakpo was sharp as a knife last night.
Yeah, he was
sharp as a knife last night. Took his goal well. Got us back into the game. So Szoboszlai scored shot, and once again, Jota the shotter, man. It's like the ball. It's like a magnet to him. It's just attracted to him in the box.
And by the way, Konza, he outmuscled Ricardo.
That's
got the ball, carried on through, and we're talking about a young 18, is he 19?
Something like that.
Yeah, 18, 19 years, right? Yeah. Now we've got to kind of unpack this. An 18, 19-year-old player who's just come into his Liverpool team. He started his game last night, and he's pressed so high up. He's pressed a seasoned player in Ricardo in Premiership, and then he had the composure to bring it forward and then pick out the right pass with the right weight of pass on it. And then that's the kind of stuff that Blake's been doing on FIFA.
Yeah. But
can't shoot.
You know what was so fascinating about Jota though? What I really appreciated about Jota in that game, and we were speaking about energy. Remember we went through, he got clipped. He could easily have, he actually got back up and still aggressively got into that box. That's what I liked about that. Yeah, everything about that. But yeah, you're right. It's just...
Solo says Art Stoney, he will tell you how I am with United right now. He says most of Ten Hag signings are garbage.
Oh,
boy, that's expensive garbage, though. I'll tell you what,
that's a hell of a lot of expensive garbage, mate.
All I'm saying at the moment, Solo, and I say this with a smile on my face, Man United couldn't be in a better position right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Long may it continue.
Beautiful.
Long may it continue. Yeah. Now I ain't gonna lie though, but you know what? I do think one player I think is gonna come good. I think that Højlund's gonna be good.
Højlund,
yeah, agreed.
Striker. I'm telling you, I've watched the boy. I've watched him a few, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I ain't gonna lie. He's another one. He's rapid.
Can I only say something?
Like Nunes, isn't it? They've got a similar kind of style.
Yeah.
But
seriously,
you know,
he's gonna come good. He's gonna come good.
Artie has to come good. Do you know why he has to come good? How much goals did he score for Atalanta? I'm sure it was only 2, you know. So even if he scores 3 goals this season for Man United, he'll come good.
Nah, do you know what? It's true. Like, I think he's got like 9 goals still. Like,
come on.
I've got to be honest.
13. I think it's
I've got to be honest. With Man United, I'm more interested in the drama behind the scenes. Will Sancho apologise? Will he? Won't he? Won't he? Will he? Won't he?
In next week's.
They say that Sancho to be replaced by Chiesa. That's the talk.
Man United. So who's going to replace Anthony?
That's a serious
All they
guy,
keep
though.
doing is buying these expensive players. Come on, man.
These expensive criminals.
He's criminals.
Listen, that Sancho situation is a problem because I tell you what, the way Sancho is reacting, he's almost saying, "I don't care," which is fine. But he's on 350 a week.
Thank you.
350.
Nobody can't buy him. Nobody can't loan him. He's only going to go Saudi Arabia.
Imagine it. Imagine a brother's getting paid £3.5 grand a week. Yeah, £350,000 a week, and my man down tools. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's the culture at Man United. That's the culture. That's the culture. Because even if he goes on loan, man, you're gonna have to supplement his wages.
Of course. Nobody ain't paying all of that.
No chance.
It's another situation that the Dutch boy who's in the midfield for them.
Van de Beek.
Van
de Beek saying probably not as much money, but he must be on a bit of a wedge. No one's not touching him because he's on too much wedge.
Yeah.
Same like Harry Maguire. Well done, Man United, boy.
Long may it continue. Keep going. Keep going.
True.
Keep going.
But I mean, but also as well, I mean, if we kind of look at it from a 50,000 view, bird's eye view, that's what makes good managers great. Because again, like, let's not forget, it was Ten Hag that publicly said something about Sancho, and for like me, that's the reason why so many people love Klopp, because he would never out a player, no matter what's kind of going on behind the scenes. So it's it's kind of very, very, very telling that that United are kind of the way they are because of Ten Hag's man management.
Good. But you know what though? But you know what? On that quickly on that one there, if the Klopp doesn't need to do that because he has the dressing room, he's got that discipline. Ten Hag is coming in and he has to establish that discipline. And I don't have a problem with a manager coming out and saying he weren't good enough in training. He was late for team meetings. That's the wrong attitude. So for that reason, he's not in my team. I don't mind a manager doing that. It's down to the player, and everyone knows about it. You don't go and react on social media. If you're going to go and react, you go and knock on the manager's door, and you go and face him face to face, and you go and have a word with him. But no, he took the coward's way out and went on social media. So you know what? Whatever happens to him, whatever happens to Man United, I don't care. I just want to see the drama continue.
Right, gentlemen, moving on. Oh, bloody hell, Chris, man, I swear to God. Goalkeepers we have these days, Alisson and Keller, absolutely beautiful compared to Adrian and Mingele, etc. Like comparing Michelle Keegan and Laura was to Gemma Collins and Emma Trump in East London. This guy, I swear to God.
You get
writing your own show, Chris, mate. No. Look, even Peter says, bloody hell, Chris. I'm telling you. Needs his own show, does our Chris. All right, gentlemen. So, another 3-1 again. We like that score, man. We do like that score. We had 29 shots on that one, 10 on target, 58% possession. Yeah, not bad. Not bad for the youngsters, I must say. But quickly, before we move on from this one, last question on this one. Do you think we still would have managed to get that win without bringing on Szoboszlai and Nunes and that? Do you think we could have still done it?
Yes. I just don't think it looks as good when we have the same kind of authority and dominance. But I think we still would have won the game simply because of just how dangerous our forwards were.
Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, let's talk about now a real test that we've got coming up. I must say, I do like the manager. Seems to have given them a newfound belief, new way of playing. They equipped themselves well and done very well, very resilient against Arsenal. What's it looking like, gentlemen? Liverpool, Spurs?
I'll tell you what it's looking like. I ain't got no concerns. Yes, Tottenham are playing completely different underneath the new manager. Impressive, I must say. I think they purchased some players. They've got. It's really nice to see Sarr and Basuma playing really well. I think that's really good as well. Listen, the last time Tottenham, all Tottenham ever do when they play against us is huff and puff. The last time they beat us was in 2017, and that's when they had prime Dele Alli. Nothing ain't happening there. When we go to the lane, it ain't nothing. That Tottenham stadium and everything, they're into racing cars and NFL. Don't be worried by this. We are going to Tottenham.
Wow.
And we're coming back with the
and concepts.
Don't be worrying about that. Don't be one bit.
See, okay. I told you, Sony, don't change, bro.
No, but hold on. Sony, before I move on to Dr. Blake, before I move on, this is what we're talking about, though. It's a different Tottenham now.
But it doesn't matter.
They got a different mentality now, bro.
No, all they have is a new manager. It's still Tottenham. 2017, brother. That's the last time. And that's at that. And we're talking about up the lane, you know. Because remember, they don't do nothing when they come up to Anfield. Don't be what. Nothing ain't happening. We're going down there and collecting those 3 points. It didn't just end us in the league, and that's where it's going to remain. They're going to remain right there in their place.
That was a good result for us anyway, that, Joe. That was a good result. 2 points dropped by both teams as far as I was concerned. Doctor.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Spurs. 100. I just think the new manager seems to have something about him, that kind of man of the people kind of vibe, down to earth, humble, knows ball, and I just think they always struggle against Arsenal. Arsenal were on top and they just carried on playing their football. Maddison makes that mistake. None of the players are shouting at him. Goalkeeper's not shouting. He just holds his hand up and they just carry on. And I guess, I think they're going to have a very good season. I almost think Tottenham and then obviously Brighton will almost define how our season is going to go. I know it sounds a bit big, but I think if we take 6 points on the next 2 games, I think we are certified title challengers, certified, and a strong one at that. I think Spurs will pose a big test, but it seems like we are determined to win by 3-1. So there you go, 3-1.
Okay, Prince.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of a humdinger. I think it's going to be one of those NBA basketball type games. It's just going to be open. Yeah, it's going to be open. It's going to be free flowing. And I've got to be honest, I might have to make sure that on Saturday night I have some sort of calming influence next to me, because I think my blood pressure is going to go through the roof.
Do you know what I would recommend, Prince?
Rivers.
Do you know what I'd recommend?
Yeah, Rivers, mate. Rivers.
Nah. He's gone.
Sparkling water, mint and cucumber.
We saw what happened last time you did that, mate. We saw what happened last time you did that. Hey, stay far from that, bro. Don't do it. Whatever you do, don't do
it. Hey, listen, don't worry. I've got my marbles about me, mate, and I'm not touching that, mate.
Chris says I reckon Sturdy should do a bet or a forfeit if he's that confident.
Listen, Chris, I know you're new to the show. Artie has been the host for so long. He will tell you, I am not a betting man. The last time that I decided to bet, I had to make sure I had Artie's account details on speed dial. I lost very quickly, and I made a very swift transaction to Artie. Yeah,
lovely, Mr. R&B, Tottenham.
Yeah. You know what? Tottenham are a different proposition this season, and I think with the manager, I think what's his name? Is it Ange?
And
Ange or
yeah,
something?
and
They like call
yeah.
him. Yeah. He kind of has that likability. He literally looks like your next door neighbor. Like like there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like he is what he is. I remember he had a press conference and he was talking about football, but like Benny was like, you know what? It's only football. Like there's so many other things that are going on in the world. Why are people bothered about this, that, and the other? And I'm like, you know what? This is literally what we need in the Premiership. A couple of seasons ago, I certainly believe that they would have lost against Burnley and Arsenal. But hey, Maddison has kind of come on leaps and bounds. Defensively, they look a lot stronger. However, we're in good form. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. There's kind of no favorites now at Spurs. You are now playing for the shirt, and again, selling Harry Kane has probably been the best. Well, we are looking at half a dozen games. Like it's still early, but it looks like that was probably like the best decision. So fair play to Daniel Levy. However, Liverpool are in great form. Tottenham, Liverpool, there's always drama. I still remember the 4-4 when Victor Wanyama got a screamer. I mean, that was just unbelievable. So yeah, I can definitely think there's going to be goals in it. I think there's going to be 5 goals, and I think it's going to be 4-1 Liverpool.
Wow, 4-1.
Damn.
Yeah.
4-1. Okay. I'm loving the positivity out there, gentlemen. I'm loving the positivity. Chris is saying he reckons 2-2 is his prediction. If we win, I'll be delighted. I'll be taking Diazepam, preparing for battle of the amazing high lines of both defenses. Yeah, for me, that it's got a game that's definitely written with goals. I think you could definitely put over a 3.5 on that one. You know what I mean? Put your money.
One of the play, yeah.
There's a bet for your Stoney. Definitely.
I'll tell you what we got to do. I think we personally, we're not going to have to man mark him, but I think we have to keep this boy quiet. The right back, Pedro. I like it. We had a conversation last week or a few weeks ago about a right back that we would try and get in, if possible, whatever. Not that we're going to get him, but a right back who would be good enough to replace Trent, not replace him, but compete with him. And I think the boy, was it Porro?
Porro.
Yeah,
Spanish guy, isn't it?
Yeah, the right back. He's decent. He's serious. And he starts off a lot of their attacks as well. So keep him quiet. But listen, I agree with all you, man, to win.
All right, before we move on from that as well, then, as you said that, Stoney, who would you say is danger man for Tottenham?
For Tottenham,
yeah,
I think, and I'm going to be honest, I still say we're going to get the result. I think it's a plural. Son's in the equation. We have to make sure that we manage that combination between Bissouma and Sarr, and then the game's done. It's going to be them two. The way they have actually been playing, very, very, very impressed. So I think for me, it's not danger man, but the plural: Son, Sarr, and Bissouma.
Okay, Doctor.
Yeah, I agree with that still. I'd add Maddison in there, especially if his passing ability in transitions as well. And if we do get caught, then he will be able to pick someone out. But yeah, I think it'd be intriguing to see. I think it'd be our midfield against their midfield. I think if we win that battle in midfield, then I think the game's ours. So yeah, I'd probably say Maddison.
Okay, big Chris says Bissouma. Big shouts goes out to Football Talk Podcast. Says big up the panel. Mr. R&B, who's the danger for Tottenham?
I think you guys have said it, but like also as well, I've been hearing that at Spurs home ground now it's rocking now, so we have to keep the crowd quiet. We have to silence them, which is going to be hard because again, Bissouma, Sarr, they literally love a tackle. They kind of equally have have like the same amount of energy as like in like midfield anyway. But no, I think if we can keep the crowd quiet, we will actually win this game. And again, 4-1 for me.
I think you lot are sleeping on one player, man. I'm surprised I've not heard one of you not mention him, man. And I think this season he's found back his form again. When he first came there, he was dangerous on loan. Then he kind of dropped off a bit, but now this season he's found back his form, man. Kulishevsky, man.
Good player.
I'm telling you, you have to watch that boy. We have to be on our P's and Q's. You know what I mean? We have to watch that boy. Be a very interesting game. I'm looking forward to that, I must say. Definitely looking forward to that. Okay, so what so you said 4-1, yeah? Mr. R&B said 4-1.
Yes, 4-1.
Big score, you know. Confident boy.
Doctor says 3-1.
3.
R&B says 4-1. What say you, Stoney?
I haven't got a result, unfortunately. I'm just saying that we're going to win. So I haven't got. I listen. If I predict it's going to rain, it's going to be the hottest day on earth in England. So boy,
you just need to get up every day and do that, yeah. Every day for the rest of your life, just get up and predict it's going to rain. You're my favorite, bro. I tell you, Freds.
Yeah, I'm going on the same vibe as Stoney, man. Just a win. But I know it's going to be an NBA. You know what? No, I'm not going to go on the same vibe.
Out.
No, you're right. You're absolutely. You know what? You're absolutely right, Gaffer. You're absolutely right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that it's going to be a 3-1 to Liverpool.
Okay.
Best score in the world right now, man. Best score.
3-1. You see that study. See what Chris is saying about you.
Chris is right though. Chris, you're speaking the truth. I bottle on small predictions because I never get them right. I know when I say when we're gonna win, but the results. Listen, I would be the bookie's best friend if I was a betting man. I'm telling you, all the time.
Okay, so last 2 games, I must say a 6-2. We're looking good. Do remember, people, it's all about KopTalk each and every Thursday right here on YouTube, man. Big shouts to the Full-Time Sports Network crew. Look out for our other sister channels as well. It's been a blast, peoples, man. I must say, Sony, it's always pleasure, man. Pleasure having you back, my brother.
Cool, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much, my brother.
Playing FIFA when I come off there, man.
Yeah. I might have to. You might have to send me your password, man. I get you to play my son. FIFA Dan still.
Give me a few weeks. Still, give me a few weeks, man.
Oh, okay. You endo, bro. You endo. Need a few weeks.
Fabinho, I'm starting slow, but I'm gonna put down some world-class levels still because I'm getting
Reds, my brother. Man. Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure, bro. Always. Mr. R&B.
Thank you for allowing me to speak my truth, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell you, these South London brothers, man. I tell you. Really, I tell you. I'm gonna have to call him in the office in the morning. Don't worry, and have a word with him. No. You know what I mean? All right, my peoples. We'll definitely say good night, God bless, and thanks very much for having us.
Let's get on Football Manager now.